I think he was part of the fishing thing, right?
Yeah, he was part of the fishing thing. Obviously, linemen love to eat, so I go out to eat with like him and Joe Brunner and Riley Mallman a lot. If I've ever been out on the town in Madison, I do not go out unless I'm with Jake Renfro. He knows the people. He's the man of the people and can show me where to go and what I'm doing, sort of thing. Especially when I first got there. But fishing, or like I think within the past couple of weeks, we went over to his dock and what do we even do? We swam, or just stuff like that. Literally any time outside of the football facility, because we obviously are very close in the football facility. We're watching film together. We're making sure we're always on the same page with all that, whatever's asked of us football-wise that day. But literally anything outside of there. And the strength coaches, Coach Brady and his staff did a great job in the winter of emphasizing that. And so, we've really kind of taken that to heart of, they had a team. I wasn't able to go on Friday. I was working a youth camp, but they had, a team kind of golf outing and a little get together there. Just anything outside the facility that can get us a little closer, because the game of football is about inches, and you need a little edge anywhere. So if you can have really good tight knit relationships outside of there, then you're giving yourself definitely a better chance when it comes to being successful on Saturdays.
Similar to that, what's your relationship being like with the receivers? How have you guys kind of bonded this spring? And James Ballard, how have you guys?
Yeah, it's been good. That room's been fun. There's definitely a lot of characters in there, like there is, most receiver rooms. And, Eugene Hilton came in, Jane Ballard came in with me. So in the beginning, it was kind of the feeling out period of, the honeymoon phase. I'm trying to get to know them. They're trying to get to know me. But once we probably got through like early to halfway of spring of, now I know how a lot of them run their routes. Now I know I'm starting to develop timing with them. They kind of know, how I operate, what I'm looking for, what I want, where I expect them, etc. So now it's been really good to where we've really been able to push each other and grow. Whether that's, I'm saying, hey, I expect you to be here and there, on this route and this timing at this depth, and then vice versa. Of if Jaden Ballard or Vinny Anthony's running a deep ball, they're like, hey, I'm expecting to hear this is where I'm going to win and keep my leverage, things like that. So it's been really fun. I kind of challenged all of them in the beginning of the summer of like, we have a great receiver room. We have a lot. I think we have a tremendous amount of depth. Probably some of the most amount of depth I feel like I've had in my career, in terms of everyone is preparing the right way. Everyone's prepared, feels confident, and when we go out there and practice, because it's a new system, so it was a lot on some guys early. But they've all embraced that challenge and have kind of gone that extra mile of knowing what to do. Maybe not necessarily how to do it. That's sometimes the coach has got to help us go the little extra mile with that. But just really making sure they're on the same page, not only with just me, but with the quarterback room, with Danny, Carter, Milos, anyone that's out there. Make sure we're seeing eye to eye. That's all about what the passing game is about, is timing, precision, accuracy, trust. So really that was my challenge to them, is trying to grow our relationship with that way, all the way from Vinny Anthony and Tretch, who everyone knows about, to Jaden Ballard, Eugene Hilton, Chris Brooks, guys that I think, Tyrell Henry, Joe Griffith, that have made tremendous strides this offseason, definitely in the summer too, here the last few weeks, that make me really excited for camp.
Jay, kind of a random question. What do you know about Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola? Do you know anything about him or his game, or kind of what he's going for?
I'd say I watched a few of his games last year. I think one of them was Indiana, so not the best outcome game for him. But I will say, just off the jump, remember watching him when he was earlier in the season as a true freshman. Like his poise, he is very good. He's very confident for a young player, very poised. A lot of times you would not think he's as young as he is, and maybe doesn't have as much experience in the collegiate level as he does. So that's the one thing that jumped right off the tape. Even probably before I knew of really who he was, just watching the game, is he plays very calm in the pocket for now a true sophomore, but a true freshman did.
Really experience too about just once you have a season of college football under your belt and you take that step as a quarterback. What was that for you? What were you able to do to advance your play in your second season?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one thing is, every rep you get, you can't really replicate in-game experience and live reps. So every rep you get, I feel like the game gets a little slower and a little slower. And I think the deeper you get, for me, the deeper I've gotten in my college career, it's about maybe putting the focus on some different things, maybe some smaller things as I've gotten older, some details where, now I have a better feel. I'm more comfortable with the general scheme of playing college football, how the game picks up, game speed and whatnot. But yeah, you put your focus onto some smaller details of, my first step on my drop, or where are my eyes when I catch the ball? Am I staring down, the plumb line of the center and, keeping the defense honest? Things like that, as you get, older in your career and you get more experience and maybe you feel like you're getting a little bit more comfortable, you try to focus and hone in on those little details, because that's where, the success, kind of lies behind us, those small things that may be overlooked.
Billy, an early game on your schedule is the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. What are some of your thoughts about playing them? Do you know anybody who plays on that team, and have you played many games in the SEC?
I think the only time I played an SEC team was Auburn. When I was at Maryland, we played them in the bowl game in 2023. I do have a former teammate, Deshaun Jones, plays defensive back there. He was at Wake Forest with me freshman year. We were there together. He's a DMV guy too. But no, I don't have too much, familiarity with the SEC. I grew up, my brother went to Alabama, my whole mom's side of the family went to Alabama, so obviously, know a lot about, their program, their tradition, their history. I'm just really excited. I think it's a great opportunity to play a premier program like Alabama, get to do it, in Bryant-Denny Stadium, in front of a great crowd, and it'll be a great, environment and early test in the season for us. So looking forward to that. Obviously, we got two big ones before that, that we get to them, but I know I'm sure that game will definitely be a fun one, and I'm sure my mom will be excited to be back in her college town and hopefully get to walk around and see some of her old friends.
How much has been made of the football, the